Alright, I'm going to show you the easiest way to get your contacts out of Outlook and into the eEdge My Contacts. So, first thing you're going to want to do is open up your Outlook, go into your contacts. We're going to come up to the top, click on File, go to Options, and go to Advanced. We're going to look right here for Export Outlook Information to a file for use in other programs. We're going to hit Export. We're going to tell it we want to export to a file. And we're going to hit Next. We're going to select comma separated values. And the Windows one will be fine. Click on Next. Make sure it's on Contacts. Click Next. And finally, we want to see where we're going to save that. We just want to make sure we can find it. So I'm going to click on Browse. One thing that I recommend is to actually create a folder, but what a lot of people will do is just go and send that to their desktop. So for the ease of use, let's just do desktop. Okay, we're going to give this a name, so I'm going to say 2011 Outlook Contacts Export. You see it's saving it as a comma separated values or CSV file, and we're going to hit OK. So fill that in that box. We're going to hit Next. It tells us what it's going to export. We're going to go ahead and hit Finish. So it's exporting my contacts out into this CSV file. That's going to be our first step. Once that's done, we can go ahead and click on OK. Now if we look at the desktop, we will see that we've got our file that we just exported out. Alright, so the next step is we need to be able to import those into the eEdge system. To do that, we're going to go ahead and log into that. We'll go here to kw.com. Scroll down to the bottom and log in. We're going to come right here to add new contacts. And I'm actually going to click here on contacts on the left hand side. By doing this, I'll get a group here at the top. I'll notice that I've got import and export. Now, before we do that, what I recommend doing is coming here to manage groups. And I want you to just create a new group. I'm going to call this my Outlook 2011 Contact Import. Depending on the size of your contact list, you may want to segment this further as far as past clients, buyers, sellers. If you have a whole lot, that way you can import them in smaller groups. I'm just going to call this my Outlook 2011 Contact Import. I'm going to hit Save. Now I've got that as one of my groups to select. I'll show you why that's important. So now I'm going to come here to Import, Export. The first thing it lets me do is assign a group to the imported contacts. So what I can do is put them in that group so that I can filter and look at just the ones I imported today. We have to put what their status is, if it's a lead, retry, active, inactive, hot, sold, or trash. You can't really modify this. I'm going to go ahead and just select active, and then contact type. If it's just buyers or just sellers, you can select that. If you're not for sure, or if it's all of them together, just select buyers and sellers. It's going to have a select a file to upload. Now here's the important step. It's got for an Outlook 2007 CSV file, also top producer for MyRed Tools. Since I'm using Outlook 2010, what I'm going to have to do is select the custom CSV file. And then I've got a custom import template. We're going to go ahead and you've got to use this template to make sure that it works right. The reason is it's got the data is in the following order, and yours may not be in this order. So what we're going to do, we're going to open this custom import template. It's going to go ahead and open that up in Excel. Okay, so here's that template that it opened. Notice it's got these titles across the top. What you're going to want to do is put your information into this template. And so the easiest way to do that is we'll minimize this. We'll go ahead and open the one that we exported from Outlook that we put on the desktop. Double clicking in. And you'll notice here it's got first name, middle name, last name. But if I look at the one that I just downloaded, which is calling the ML import template, it's actually got title, first name, middle name. So what you're going to need to do is, and you've got to switch back and forth between these two, we're going to come here, we're going to go to first name, click the box above it so it selects all of them. We're going to right click and copy. Then I'm going to come down, I'm going to select my import template. I'm actually going to put that in the field that says first name and not title. So we want to fill everything from that one into this one. That's going to make sure that the import goes smoothly and that everything is imported in. Okay, so I'm going to right click. I'm going to select paste. And now all my first names are in the first name field. We're actually going to go through each of the fields that you have information on. So if I came here to last name, same thing there. And I'm actually going to do that everywhere where I have info. If it's unspecified or it's birthday or anniversary and I don't have any good info, I don't have to do those fields. You'll notice from the information here, it says what is required is first name, last name, and either email address or physical address. So those are the ones that I have to have. So if I don't have an email address, then I have to have a physical address. But I'll just go through each of these. I'll come over here and do last name, copy. I'll open up my import template. I'm going to select last name and I'm going to paste. Okay, so let's scroll over just a little bit till we find email address, which is over here under BG. Notice I can put the mouse there with the up and down deal and actually spread that out. So I see email address is that field. I'm going to come back to my Outlook file that I exported. I'm going to select my email address over here. I'm going to copy that and paste it in on the other one. It's a little bit of back and forth, but it's kind of a one-time deal. Once it's in and set up, you won't have to worry about it or mess with it anymore. So I'm going to save each one of those fields that I want into my template down here. Here's the email address. I'm going to do copy. I'm going to go back to my template. I'm going to right click and paste. And then once I've got everything filled out of what information I have, I'm going to actually come up here. I'm going to click on File and Save As. Again, I'm going to save it to my desktop so I can find it real quickly. I'm going to call this my eEdge import template 2011, and I'm going to hit save. Okay, we're going to go ahead and hit yes here. Basically now I have a file that the system is going to take. Just a couple of notes on this. The first 6 at least need to have either an email address or a physical address. If they don't, it will not take it. In fact, it's got to have a name, email address, or a physical address. If you don't have those, when you go to import them, it'll come down here and it'll say the job failed because it didn't have the required fields. So, but once you've got that all ready to go, you'll basically select that file. So we'll do browse. We're going to look on our desktop. We're going to select that eEdge import template. We're going to hit open. We'll make sure all these things are ready to go, and we're going to hit import. I know that this isn't complete, and I'll show you what will happen if yours isn't complete as well. When I hit import, it's going to stop almost immediately, and then the format does not seem to match the specified format, and that's because I have these fields filled in. So take a little bit of time. Be sure to fill in the required fields. Also be sure not change these title names at the top, because that's what it reads when it imports them in. So once you've got that done, you'll be able to import them in. It'll take about 30 minutes, and then down here under status, it'll have what started, complete, how many imported, and how many failed. And that will get all of your contacts imported into the eEdge system.